Thank you for joining with us in this special interview, Mr. Syed. What is the reason for you to resign from the Ashraf Ghani government?
I worked for the Afghanistan government for 2 years, and then there was too much interference from the close circle of the president's office, so I decided to resign.
Did you foresee that Taliban capture Afghanistan?
I expected that Taliban were taking Afghanistan totally, but I did not expect that they will take it that fast. So it was unbelievable to take Afghanistan within 10 days or 1 week. My expectation was that the government should resist. The Taliban would take Afghanistan at least after 6 months, but it fell very fast.
A former minister leading a very simple life is normal, but living in other country and doing a job which is not up to your educational level is strange. Why?
I had already simple life when I was born and raised up to age 12 in my village, homeland in Afghanistan, a place called Darinur in Nangarhar province. And then I had a high life when I went to United Kingdom. I graduated there, had a master degree, electronics engineering degree, and telecommunication master degree. And then I did work for almost 22 years in my field. I worked in United Kingdom, in Europe, and I had a very good and high life. And then went back to Afghanistan, got a job with the government, and then I had a government official high life as well. So now back again in Europe, Germany, working as a Lieferando career. I have ordinary normal life, same as like I had it back in my home village. So that doesn't matter. Sometimes life can be high life, sometimes low level, sometimes middle life. That is not important. Important is that your soul is happy, and your soul can be happy when you don't steal from the government, you don't steal from your public, and you do your job with honesty. So that is the most important one. People, those they steal money, they might be living physically very comfortable, but mentally they are not living comfortable. And those they do honest work, they probably physically live very stressful, but mentally they live very comfortable. And the mental comfort is far important than physical comfort.
Even though world nations blamed America for leaving Afghanistan in stray, the US President Joe Biden criticized the Afghan government for the current situation. Can you comment on this?
I think the failure of America is not only the American and also not only the previous Afghan government, it was both. The blame should be on both rather than just on Afghan government, previous Afghan government, or just on the American. Both of them were not honest. American had their own agenda. They say that we had our own agenda and we achieved. In Afghan government, there was corruption. There was no serious commitment for stability, serious commitment for the peace, and also not serious commitment for the fighting against the corruption. So both sides should be blamed rather than one side.
It had been alleged that Ashraf Ghani took away a huge amount of money when he fled from Afghanistan. How do you react?
Yes, I also heard that Ashraf Ghani took huge amount of money out of Afghanistan, which was very bad. But this money will give him physically much comfort in his life, but mentally he will not be comfortable. And the Afghan people will one day will ask him to return the money back, I hope.
Would you have any idea either to go back to Afghanistan or enter politics again?
Yes, I'm going one day back again to Afghanistan. This is my country, and I will. My job is also now currently as a temporary. So the sooner I know the German language, I will be going back and working in my own field.
India has started its conversation with Taliban. Do India face any problem because of Taliban?
I think for India, it is good that they should build a relationship with the Taliban, because India is our second neighbor country, and all other superpowers like America, Russia, they are far away. When they come, they invade and they go back. But we live in neighborhood, so we can't go away from each other. So there is no option. India should build relationship with the Taliban. They should work alongside with the Taliban. If there is a competition between Pakistan and India and the influence in Afghanistan, so this should be balanced by the Afghanistan's government, and I am sure that the Taliban eventually will balance this influence and also relationship. So I think it is better India work with the Taliban rather than to leave them in isolation, because living in isolation is not good for both countries.
How can India help Afghanistan in the current scenario?
India can support Afghan people in terms of opening some branches of hospitals in Afghanistan, and then through remotely working with some of the specialized can look and watch Afghan sick, ill people to provide them medical health, and as well as India can support Afghanistan in terms of technology, can provide training centers for Afghan people, to provide some supports. For example, the satellite, SARC, a satellite with 2 transponders were given to Afghan people, Afghanistan, that can be again utilized also to put it in a practice in Afghanistan, to use it for the farmland people, to support the farmers, to see that what is the market for their products in the cities. So in technology, in medical, and also in education, India can still help Afghanistan, and that will be a good bond to build a bond and relationship between these two countries more stronger.
Taliban had given so many promises. What do you think about the future of Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, in my point of view, is going to be initially going through a hard time, but in long term, I think Afghanistan will get better and get prosperous, because in Afghanistan, by coming to the power, the Taliban government, now you can see that all across Afghanistan there is a peaceful environment. There is used to be 400 people injured or killed daily, and now that level of figure is down to 1 or 2 weekly. That's the most important. And second thing is that the Taliban government is going to be recognized by the region and worldwide, because there is no other option. Without that, all the government have to work with them. So for the long term, when the Afghan government is recognized, the Afghan resources are extracted. For example, we have minerals, we have oil, we have gas. So Afghanistan will become a prosperous country. People will have a job. Long term for Afghanistan, the Afghan people will benefit. So for this reason, my forcing for the Taliban is that the government is going to be stable, the region is going to be stable if international community work with Afghanistan's current government. And the promises they made, they have to deliver, because on one hand they have to deliver, in another hand is the international aid money, because international aid money will go with a condition, with some condition like human right and women right, and I'm sure Taliban will observe that, and they will respect their own commitments to the international community, like the promise they made for the international communities.
Thank you so much for sharing your words with us. Take care and stay safe.